what did you learn about cash flow management, the other really key critical factors of keeping a business going, and how did you keep yourself mentally fit? Because if you were not mentally fit, obviously that would have an impact on lots of people as well.
I think the learnings from every incident that I have gone through is first and foremost, it is about survival. So really, how much wealth have you lost, how much wealth you have is completely inconsequential. The first thing I used to think about is, will we survive? Remember, the only thing that matters is, can you survive? And you have to come up with 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. So you can come up with batches of 30 days, or you can come up with batches of 15 days. First question you need to ask is, do you have enough money, capital, etc., to survive 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days? As I told you, I started with $100. So I always was a guy who was thinking about tomorrow. Day after was never my priority, because tomorrow was always a priority. This does not mean that I don't know how to plan long term, but it only tells you that even though I'm planning long term, I was extremely wary of what will happen tomorrow. So being worried about tomorrow is very important. And once you are worried about tomorrow, your mindset works onto a survival. Your survival instinct will kick in. And that actually helps you deal with these scenarios. So to any entrepreneur who's actually in this scenario, the first thing you should think about is liquidity. The second thing at the same time you should think about is, can you hold on to your team? Remember, entrepreneurship is, while it is a lone game, and you are a loner in this, but your team, the people around you, have actually high dependence on you. Their morale is linked to your morale. So if you appear negative, you are actually taking down a lot of people. And this is a self-reinforcing cycle. So once you get into a self-reinforcing negative cycle, it is difficult to come out for anyone, even if you have liquidity. So as an entrepreneur, you have to think about keeping your people around you safe and linked to you. Given this is a health pandemic, we need to really think about our folks. Keeping them safe and keeping them aligned to you is the most important thing. The third thing is, when you look at risks around you, you ask yourself, let's assume for a minute you have only 15-day cash. The first thing you should ask yourself is, how do you extend that 15 days to 30 days? Is it because you can request your employees, etc., to say, guys, we cannot pay you salaries because we need to retain that cash? Can you help? And then identify those who are actually in the worst position and have no chance of survival and pay them. It is possible you might be able to extend your running to 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. The second thing to do is go back and ask your employees, can you contribute? Because this is a building, this is an institution you are building yourself. But now you can actually co-opt those who you were employing to become your co-owners, especially if you have a short run. So you can again co-opt them and see how many of them have the confidence to actually contribute at this point of time. And these are some of the mechanisms one can use in a short runway to increase cash and therefore become long-term, at least survive the. See, we do not know whether the lockdown will last 20 days, 30 days, 50 days, 70 days, or 6 months. So therefore, the best you can do is to be alive. Like in India, we have 21-day lockdown. On the 22nd day, are you alive? That is the only criteria for survival. If it is going to last 6 months and you can't survive, don't bother about it today, because it's not happening. That is a thing that you should bother on 6 months, post 181st day is the day you should bother. It requires hell of a lot of confidence and a very positive mental outlook to not think about the 181st day when you know sure death awaits. My suggestion is always just look at by till when your system works and what is the shortest term to stay alive. Funnily, you will see that the world can change on the 188th day also. So you might still survive.
I think that's such a good perspective, Vineet, especially if you look so far ahead, you can become completely overwhelmed and think nothing is going to be possible for me to do. So keeping yourself positive is so important.